Today I'm going to be doing a review of these Hethrone dual tip brush pens that I got as a gift. They came from Amazon. They're pretty cheap. I think they were only like $25 for 100 pack of them. I've never used them before, so we're gonna try them. They come with this beautiful case. The cover just flips up like this. And it has this little coloring book in it, which I thought was really cute. It has a little chameleon in the back that I'm just obsessed with. He's so cute. And there's 100 different colors. Now make sure you guys can see this. It does come with swatches on here, but they don't look very vibrant. Like this red, this is supposed to be a deep scarlet red, and I don't think it's going to actually look like that. So we're going to do all of the swatches for all of them. So stay tuned for that. If, you know, there's nothing to report, I'll just fast forward through it, do a little time-lapse video for you guys so you can see what they all look like actually on paper. After that, I'm also going to color swatch all of my Crayola Super Tips, so you guys can see all of those. I labeled them myself because they don't come labeled, but we'll get into that later. These guys come labeled with a number and a name. So for instance, this first one is R126, R for red, number 126, conch shell. Now, when I do my swatches, I'm just going to use the number. I might go back later and try putting in the names, but for now, we're just going to stick with the numbers. So for this, I'm using my Scribbles That Matter notebook for my permanent collection, and this is actually my first time using a Scribbles That Matter notebook, so I'm going to do a review on this notebook as well, and you can see that on my channel once we're done with the color swatching of my markers. I'm going to do color swatching of my washi tape and a full review of the Scribbles That Matter notebook. All right, so I guess we'll just get started. We're gonna swatch all of these markers. I'm really excited. I can't afford the Tombow markers because they are a little pricey. I think it's like $350 for the whole pack of them. I do have like one pack of the Tombow markers, so I am gonna swatch the few that I have. But I have spaces for all of them because I do eventually want to get all of the Tombow markers. I also have a couple of different types of markers that I'm going to swatch today as well. Bright Ideas came from Barnes & Noble. They're a dual tip brush pen. This one came from, where did this come from? This was a gift. This was a gift from Christmas, so I don't actually know where it came from. And then I have a pack of metallic brush pens that I got from Five Below that I actually really like, and they were only $5, so I'm going to swatch those 6 as well so you guys can see them. But we're going to start with Hethrone. Again, I'm really excited to try these. Hopefully they work well because they're really cheap, and it would be really nice to have a cheap set of brush pens that I can replace. And now when I run out of them, what I'm going to do is just put a little sticky note across it so I know that it's out, and then I know I need to purchase a new one. I should also note that I am swatching these 3x2. A lot of people do like one little square because there's a lot of them and they want to fit them all on one page. To me, it didn't really matter that I fit them all on one page. What matters to me is that I can actually get a good feel for what the marker actually looks like. I feel like if you're doing it in just such a small little box, you don't really get a full idea of what it actually looks like on paper. So this is the first one, R for red, number 126. Sorry, I'm being really careful with this one now because it's my first time using it. I want to get a feel for how the brush feels, if it's too thick, if it's too thin. It's not bad. If you can see, this is the nib for this one. I don't know if the camera's focusing, so sorry if it's not. But it's a really pointed tip. The nib isn't really flexible. that I'm noticing. I mean, maybe it's just this one, but we'll keep trying it. So that's actually good for me. For doing calligraphy and for doing lettering, I actually prefer a more stable nib, because if it's too thin, then I just feel like I don't have great control over it. As you guys can see, I'm really, really terrible at coloring inside of lines. So I hope that doesn't bother you guys too much. And I should note that I'm just doing these in the order that they came in, because I don't know what they look like yet. So I didn't order them, like put them in order myself based off of color or any or number or anything like that. I'm just doing them in the order that they came in. If I feel like I need to put them in a different order, I will. But it looks like Hethrone did a pretty good job of ordering them. I like this. This is a very subtle gradient going down. I really like that. But then it looks like this is really dark. This might be like a dark contrast here. Maybe if I like turn my notebook, I'll have do a better job of staying inside the lines. Hope you guys can still see this. Oh, I'm really bad at coloring inside the lines. If you guys have any tips on how to stay inside the lines, let me know. I would love to hear them. I do have some medical problems that make my hands really shaky, so that might be why I'm really bad at staying inside of the lines. I have very unsteady hands, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me too much. And I do make custom notebooks, and it doesn't seem to bother my customers too much. So I hope it stays that way. I hope it doesn't bother you guys too much either. I am just double checking every time that I put one that I match the number to the one that I wrote. Especially when I went through and numbered all of the tombos, I made an oops and skipped a couple numbers on accident. And I had to go back and fix that and add them to the end. So those ones are a little bit out of order towards the end, but I think these ones I put all in order, but I want to double check just to be sure. I think this is a really beautiful gradient. I think Hethrone did a really good job of ordering them. And then I just want to make sure that we're not having any bleed through here, which we're not, so that's really good. This is 160 GSM paper, and I'm not using anything like an alcohol-based marker or anything. Hethrone is water-based. So it's really, if you're just getting into doing bullet journals, make sure you're using water-based markers and not alcohol-based markers, because alcohol-based markers bleed through a lot or ghost a lot. So here, actually, this is a good time to point out, I actually used, making these boxes, I used 3 different kinds of fine liners because I wanted to try some new fine liners that I got gifted to me as well. So this one here is actually the fine liner that came with the Scribbles That Matter notebook. And I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of it. It's very, very wet and it smeared very, very easily. Even just like ruling it out, if I lifted the ruler up, it like bled and smeared like crazy. I was not a big fan of that, and it does look like we have a little bleeding together of this marker and this line. I'm not sure if that's because of the fine liner or if it's because of the marker, but on later pages, this one is a different brand of fine liner, and then this one is a different brand of fine liner, so we'll be able to see if it's the fine liner or the marker that's making those bleed together. Ooh, I really like this pink. This is a really pretty color. I'm going to try not to get too close to this line because there is a lot of bleeding together. I think it's probably the fine liner, but the fine liner is dry and the marker is not, so it's difficult to tell. I like the color pink. It's actually my boyfriend Devin's favorite color. And it's just, there's just so many different shades of it. There's so much you can do with it. And I feel like it's like it's supposed to be like an unnatural color, but you can find such pretty pink things in nature. Pink flowers, pink roses. I'm actually not a big fan of flowers. I don't like this way they smell. I think I'm gonna go back to doing it like this. I'm sorry, this is gonna bother me that I colored in one direction here and then colored another direction here, and I'm probably gonna go back to doing a different direction there. That is gonna bother me a little bit, but if it bothers me enough, I can always redo my swatches. I should have just not made boxes and just did the swatches without the boxes. I think next time that's what I'll do. I didn't have a stencil to use for the boxes, which really annoyed me. So I had to do them all by hand with a ruler, which was really tedious. And to make like these hundreds of boxes that I did for all of the brands of markers that I'm gonna swatch was really, it took a really long time. It took a couple hours to do. And I'm also really bad at using a ruler and like freehanding it. Like you see, like I just can't connect lines properly. I promise I don't suck like this that much in everything that I do with my bullet journals. It's just like using fine liners. I don't know if it's like I'm not patient enough and I just like want to get it done, or if I'm just like have really unsteady hands. Probably both. I like how subtle this gradient is too. It's not like it just harshly goes from one color to the next. It really like blends nicely. So in this Hethrone pack, all of the markers are labeled with a letter and a number. The letter stands for the color that's like the base color. So R for red, Y for yellow, G for green, B for blue. And then there's also a F, and that's for fluorescent. And I think there's like 5 fluorescents in this pack. Like I said, they all have names too, and I actually really like when companies or brands name their markers. I just think it's fun to see like what the different names are that they come up with. Mineral yellow. What minerals are yellow? There's a couple of like precious gems that are yellow, like amethyst, but like this is definitely orange. I don't know. I guess it's kind of like a yellow topaz-y color, but I'm really excited to get into the blues. Red is actually my least favorite color. I'm not sure why. I just don't like the look of it. It's just, I guess it's just like it feels like a very harsh, unnatural color to me. My car is red, but that's besides the point. He talked me into buying the red car after I told him that I hate red cars. Her name is Lilo, my car. She's precious. Salmon. This better be a good salmon color. Salmon's a great color. It's a little salmony. It feels really bright. It feels like almost like neon or fluorescent, but it's not one of the fluorescent ones. It doesn't feel very opaque. I feel like I have to go over this twice in order to get like a good feel of the color. Oh, I'm so bad at staying inside the lines. I'm so sorry, guys. Just bear with me here. Fluorescent 4. This is a pretty color. This is literally just like a brownish yellow. It's called apricot, and I guess it is a pretty apricot color, but it's just, I don't know, I feel like apricot's just a really pretty color. I feel like it just goes well with a lot of things. You can pair it with a lot of things. Marigold. I think Crayola has a marigold color. I think yellow actually might be my favorite color. I hate this. I hate that bleeding together of the markers. I really hope that it's just this fine liner I used and not these markers. Here we go, guys. I'm just gonna do this. This is gonna take a lot longer, but this looks a lot better. I'm just gonna do that. I'm sorry, this is also like only my second or third time doing color swatches. So I'm not like a professional color swatcher. Okay, so that was the first tray of markers. So that was these guys here, these colors. So let's move on. And the next ones are gonna be, I think there's like one more pink one, and then we go into like yellows and greens and blues in this tray. Powder pink, this better be a good color too, because powder pink is always a really pretty color. Yes, oh, if that bleeding wasn't there, this is such a pretty color. I don't know how well this is gonna show up on the camera because it's really light, but it's like a very, very, very subtle pink, and I'm obsessed with it. I love that color. Buttercup yellow. See, this looks like it's going to be like a pastel-y color. I hope it is. It's definitely not pastel. One thing I will say about these markers, I don't know if this is something that bothers you guys. It bothers me that the caps really, really don't match the colors that they have inside of them. Like this is very, very pastel and this is pretty bright. And I've noticed that for like a lot of them. So this is supposed to be just regular yellow. And I don't know if you guys can see this. This looks like almost like a muted, like a yellow brown color, but it's supposed to be just plain yellow. Yeah, that's very yellow. Nothing like the cap. I mean, it's more like the cap on this one was, but olive yellow. I might go back and write the names of the colors in just for fun later. I don't know, maybe I'll write them like in the color next to it or under it. Maybe. I don't know. I do like that these are dual tipped. Next. Oh, this is melon yellow. This is a really, really pretty yellow. This is a very pretty yellow. Sunflower. Why is this? Why 216? Did I do these out of order? Was I not checking? Was I literally just paying attention to the numbers? Or to the... That's Y315. Why do I do this to myself? I'm gonna have to relabel some of these. Let's see. I think up to Y25 was right. This was Y812, R21. That's right. 401. That's right. 314. That's right. 225. That's right. Okay, so when I was comparing the caps to the numbers to the pens, those were right. I didn't mess those up. I think just 2 of the pens were out of order. Because this is 216. This is all the way down here. So this one, this melon yellow, is supposed to be 315 here. That's an easy fix. I can fix that. I'm trying to mess the camera up too much while I my handy dandy white out. So it should be Y315. Wow, that worked. Come on. I'm struggling today, guys. Man. Let's try that again. There we go. Come on, whiteout. There we go. Okay. So this is 315. Why 315? And then we're gonna have to make this one Y314. And some of these markers are out of order. I'm gonna put them in the order that they... No, I'll wait. I'll wait to put them in a different order because I think they're in the order they're supposed to be in, but it was just labeled out of order. So that was 315. So this next one is 216. This is sunflower yellow, so that's down here. So word of advice, guys, double, triple check the numbers before you put them down in your swatch book. 205, let me know. So this is down here. I wonder, it's gonna have to jump up to there eventually, right? Almost, did I? 1, 2, 3, 5. You know what I did, guys? Look. Look how smart I am. Y314, Y314, Y225, Y225. Why did I put those twice? But there's 100, so I'm missing 2. Am I missing the last 2? We'll figure it out together. 204. See, I feel like this should be like a fluorescent. Oh, there's a fluorescent for the next one, so let's see what that is. F01. Oh yeah, that's definitely fluorescent. It's like highlighter yellow. .804. It's kind of an interesting green, yellow-green color. I hate fluorescence. I don't like the look of fluorescence. So as you guys can see here also, I'm getting a lot less of the blending between the line and the line and the color here. So for this, I used these fine liner pens, these Oahu pens. Oahu. Someone tell me how I pronounce that. Oahu? Oahu? Oahu. I'm saying Oahu. That's what it is. Someone tell me if I'm right. But these were also gifted to me, and this is my first time using them as well. These smeared a lot as well, so I wasn't like a huge fan of them, but I don't hate them. I probably will use these quite a bit, especially because I know that they don't really blend with the colors. So I'm gonna say that the blending of these colors was probably because of the fine liner, which again, this fine liner was the fine liner that came with the Scribbles That Matter notebook. They do have a collection of them on their website. I'm not sure that I would buy them because of this and because of the smearing. Continuing. 515. Grass. I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen grass this color. This is a very bright green. I've never seen grass that green. Lotus stalk. What does a lotus stalk look like, guys? Is it this green? I'm not sure I've ever seen a lotus stalk. Wow, I'm so bad at this. I really appreciate that you guys are like sticking with me through all of my struggles. .406. All right, yeah, definitely no bleeding or blending of the line and the color here. I'm really a big fan of these fine liners, I think. 318. How did I do that? I still can't get over that. See, this is like what I think like grass green would be. Not like this bright green, whichever one of these it was. What was this one called? Ocean green. Is there green in the ocean? I guess like seaweed. Ooh, turquoise green. I don't know. I'd say this is more of a teal than a turquoise. This is 46. It's also kind of like a bluey green. So this color, this is B754. It's called Vert Fonts. And it's a B, but it's in with the G. So the base color is blue, so it should have like a little bit of a blue tint to it. I guess I can see like a little blue in it, but that's definitely a green. A very dark green. 256 Pine Tree. Oh yeah, that's definitely a pine tree color. It's a really pretty color. Ultramarine. That sounds pretty. Ooh, it is pretty. So as you guys can see, you do get a little bit of streakiness with these colors, but the kind of streakiness is similar to the streakiness that Tombow gives, where if it overlaps with another line, it just gets a darker line. If you go over all of it like 2 or 3 times, it probably will even out. I'm gonna try that on another page, not on these, because I want these to be just the swatches without a bunch of layers on top of it, because I want to know what the actual color is. Hopefully, though, if you go over it a few times, you don't get that streakiness effect. I know with Crayola Super Tips, I have that problem a lot. Oh, this is a really, really pretty color. See, this one, I would call this one more of a blue. But it's a G, not a B. This is Emerald Green is what the name of it is, but it's more of a blue, I think. We are getting into the blues now, though, and there are a couple of greens thrown in. Good thing I caught this, because I think this is where I missed, or I misnumbered them. Let's see. I think I just missed this one. This is B934. I think I just missed this one. So we're going to put this one up here. That's going to bother me a lot too. I'm probably going to re-swatch these, to be honest. But thank you for bearing with me during this. Wow, I'm really riding the struggle bus today, guys. This was B934. I'm going to re-swatch these better, but for now I just want to get them onto paper so I know what they actually look like, because the caps and the lid of the case that they came in don't represent the colors very well. That's a really pretty color. Should be down here, but it's a pretty color. 635 Forest Green. That is absolutely 100% blue, and I don't know why they would call this color forest green, but that's like a very, very pretty blue. It also is labeled with a B for blue, so I don't know why they called it forest green, but minor details. Indian blue. Oh, this is like my favorite color blue. She's gonna get used a lot. This is gonna be one of the first colors to run out. I love, love, love this color. We're going into like some really pretty green blues now. I'm really excited for them. Peacock Green, B526. Oh, this is such a pretty color as well. This one is more of a blue-green. It is definitely a little more blue than green. I probably wouldn't title it something that has the word green in it, but I can see the green in there for sure. $4.14. Oh, this is a very, very pretty, like, baby blue color. Very pretty. I'm really excited for these blue-green colors. Blue-green's such a pretty color. Turquoise Green Light. I wonder if there'll be a turquoise green dark. Like I said, guys, we are exploring these colors together. I haven't actually looked through them yet. I was waiting to do the swatches. It's a really pretty color too. Actually, these two colors together are really pretty. 115, Mint Green. Mint Green? Mint Green. Oh, that is mint green. That is one of my favorite colors as well. Mint green and like powder pink together. What a beautiful little gradient here too. $6.13. This is also a very, very pretty baby blue color. Look at me, I'm getting better with the swatches. I'm proud of myself. Mineral Green. See, now I'm kind of on the fence with putting the names down because I don't think I like the names of the colors because I don't think they really go with what the actual colors are. But I like naming the colors. I don't know. Put in the comments if you think I should name them or not. This is Blue 1. Frost Blue. That's a pretty color. I'm obsessed with this section right here. This is just such a pretty gradient. These are just such beautiful blue-green colors. I'm obsessed. I love these colors. Love them. So guys, that finished off this tray here. So this was like the yellows, the greens, and the green blues. And then next we go into purples, blues, grayscales, and browns. It looks like this goes from this color right into purple instead of blue. I might switch that up next time I do a color swatch of these colors because I don't really like this is going to be right next to a purple. I'm not sure I'm going to like that. Something to keep in mind. I'm going to keep these in order. Careful. I want to make sure you guys can see that. Sorry. A little drink quick here. And on to the next. Make sure I did this tray in order. 914. Light Ultramarine. This color here that the cap is also one of my favorite colors. It's like almost pastel-like lavender. I don't know what it's gonna look like on here though. It looks like these are just like pastel-y colors, so maybe it'll be like a pastel. Yeah, that's a really pretty color. I don't know why I bother trying to even this out. $8.35. this marker right here, just this one color, wrote almost like an acrylograph or like a paint pen. That's how it came out almost. I also, these dry really fast. They don't smear, so that's also really nice. This is 834. Sorry if you guys hear that noise in the background. That would be one of my many pets, one of my 3 dogs. That's Taco. He's just out there wreaking havoc, it sounds like. 705. I swatched these ones pretty nicely. These are pretty bad. I'll work on it. This is kind of like a blue purple. I like this color. I will tell you guys, I am just as bad at coloring inside of the lines in like my bullet journals and everything that as I am here. So I don't actually color in a lot of pictures. I do a lot of lettering with my markers, and just kind of like, I like draw with them. I don't really color in too much, or I try to avoid it at least. I'll use washi tape as much as I can instead of that. Just make sure this is right. 935. Oh, this is a really nice, like, almost cobalt blue. Now we're getting to like the blue blues. This is a really pretty color too. I don't know how it shows up on camera, but it is a little bit purpley, but definitely more blue. $27. This is cobalt blue. So let's see what this comes out to be like. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is definitely cobalt blue. This is a really pretty color. This is one of my favorite colors as well. I know I've said that a lot. I just have a lot of favorite colors. Colors are so pretty. It's funny because I wear almost exclusively black. I like to look at colors. I don't like to wear colors. This is a beautiful, like, periwinkle color. Beautiful. I really like that. I really like this gradient that's going on here too. As you can see, my hands are really shaky, so I apologize for that. Thank you for bearing with me. So guys, I think what I'll do is I'm gonna post this video of like my comments and everything on the colors and on everything that I've done. I think I'll also though upload a time-lapse video for those of you who don't want to listen to me drone on for an hour about markers, so you guys can just kind of get a feel for what these markers are all about. So I gotta say, I'm almost done, and I gotta say, I think I like these markers a lot. They actually do give off kind of a Tombow feel. I think the nib on these is a little bit different than the Tombow. Actually, here. So the Tombow is a little bit thicker of a nib. It's a little bit longer too. I like, and it's, Tombows are also a little more flimsy. The nibs are a little more flexible. These are a lot more sturdy, which personally I actually think I like better. But I haven't used Tombow a whole lot. Like I said, I only have one pack of them, and I've used them almost all up. So a couple of them are kind of on their last legs because I do use them a lot. But I'm probably going to use these quite a bit. I'm probably going to use these a lot more than my super tips, but we'll get there. So this is baby blue here. What a beautiful baby blue. And see, here's where like this whole ordering thing comes in, because I really like this gradient. This color works really well right in this gradient, but I also think it would work well over here somewhere, like maybe up here. But I really like the way the Hethrone. I've been saying Hethrone this whole time. I'm so sorry. It's Hethrone. My bad. I'm really happy with the way that Hethrone ordered their colors and numbered their colors. So I definitely will be making another video of swatching these later on down the line, where I can do a little bit better of a swatch and actually order them correctly without skipping any or misordering them. But for now, this is gonna have to do. I just want to make sure I get them onto paper so I can see what they actually look like. So a couple of them, like this one, are labeled BG, and that stands for blue-gray, I believe, or blue-green. And then there's GG, which is gray-green, or green-gray. I'll have to look at what these ones mean. But yeah. I'll get back to you and make sure I gave you guys right information about that. So NG is neutral gray. So this is neutral gray number 2. It's a beautiful gray. Beautiful light gray. So this is gray green. That's what the GG is, gray green. Number 3. Blue gray. Sorry, blue gray is what BG is. Blue gray, neutral gray, green gray. So I'm on number 5. This looks like it's going to be metallic. This is green gray, number 5. It is not metallic. The cap is misleading because the cap is shiny like it's going to be metallic, whereas all the other ones are very much like a matte, and this is very much shiny. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference there, but it is not metallic. There are no metallic colors in this set. Now I know. CG is cool gray. That looks like exactly what it is. Blue gray, cool gray. This is another neutral gray. Oh, this seems a little more greenish. This one also came out really liquidy, like this one over here did, almost like an acrylograph or a paint pen. So this one is reed green. So these next ones actually have a yellow base to them. But this is like going into the browns. So the browns are all gonna be like a yellow base. This one is very yellow. I would probably put this more with the yellows than I would with the browns. This is almost like it's really not flattering color. It's kind of like a pukey yellow almost. Looks like this next one is going to be like that as well. Yeah, this is mustard. Mustard can be a really pretty color if it's done right. By itself, it's not like that flattering of a color, but I think with other things it might be pretty. I don't know, it doesn't seem like super mustardy to me. I feel like mustard is like, has a different like tint to it. I'm gonna tell you guys right now that I probably will use these markers a lot. I'm actually starting to really like these markers. The more I use them, the more I like them. Oh, sorry, that just fell. Move this back. There we go. 152. Elderberry. What a fun name. It's kind of like an oaky brown, or like I'm not a chestnut. What's the one that's like an auburn? That's the color. This is bronze, but bronze is a metallic, so I'm not sure what this is gonna look like. This is just a basic brown. I don't think there's anything bronze about it. It's just a basic brown. This is a nice brown. It's a little bit of a lighter brown. I feel like this is more of like a tree trunk kind of brown. All right, we have our second to last one, which is the last colored one, Bitterwood. And then our very last one is S. I'm not sure what S stands for, but it's just black. Just a regular black marker. This is coming out really inky as well, this black one. And actually this black is not very black. That is a very, very, very light black. That's probably the only color that I really did not like out of this whole thing. So there you have Hethrone, not Hethrone, Hethrone markers. Overall, I really like them. They do get a little bit streaky in places, but I think that can be fixed if you go over them a couple of times. Like, same with Tombow. It's the same kind of streakiness as Tombow, so it's not like that much of a drawback. And sometimes the streakiness can actually like have a really cool effect. So as long as it's done correctly. I think my favorite thing about this brand is the gradients and how they ordered and numbered their markers. I think it's just such a pretty gradient. And it goes from one color to the next really, really well. All of these blue greens I really like. Their purples and blues are really pretty. I think I wish that they had a bigger variety of yellows and browns. I feel like there should have been a darker brown and sort of like more like of a walnut brown, more of like a chestnut brown. So I feel like they could have had more variety there and more variety with the yellows, because I feel like it's just these very like muted yellows and then these very bright yellows with only like one in between. I think that's okay though, because they had 100 colors to work with, which is a lot of colors. And I think they concentrated most of their colors in this blue and green section, and then the reds as well, which are, you know, the primary colors that people use the most. So I think that's okay that they kind of skimped out on the browns and yellows. And then of course, I think this black could have been a lot darker. I think that they kind of dropped the ball on, but really that's the only complaint I really have. Sorry again for how horribly done these swatches are, especially because I switched up directions here. That was not smart. I should have just kept with the same direction and did not color inside the lines very well, so I apologize for that. And I apologize for skipping the numbers. Thank you for bearing with me here. Apparently, I just had an extra box. Don't know how I did that. But overall, I'm probably going to use these markers a lot. I think it's a really good alternative to Tombow if you're looking for a cheaper option and can't afford Tombow, or just don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on markers, which is totally fair. I mean, I don't have Tombows. So yeah, overall, these are really good. Stay tuned. I'm going to swatch my Crayola Super Tips next. I'm going to do that in a separate video because there's 100 of those as well. And then I will swatch the remaining markers I have in a third video, which will be the 1 pack of Tombow markers I have. And then my Bright Ideas markers, my metallic markers, and the markers that I got from Five Below. So that'll all be in one video because I don't have a lot of them. But thanks again for tuning in. Thanks again for bearing with me for all of my horrible swatching and horrible mistakes. I hope this was informative and helpful for you guys. And definitely go out and get the Hethrone brand if you haven't already, or if you are looking for a cheaper alternative to Tombow. Thanks again, and see you guys in the next one.